Hello. Today we'll be making one of these double spirals. Heard them called Tesla coils. Heard them called many things. Very similar to a Ighina. Very similar to a double Ighina. Yeah, I first seen the design on a video with Yannick Van Doorn and his Fibonacci. He had one of these at the top and one of these with the wooden bead. I believe it's a wooden bead anyway. And then the next time I seen one was this spiral. I love it. It is magnetic. The inside feels plastic, but you can connect it to an antenna to pick up signals. In this case, we're going to use this as an antenna to pick up the galactic energy, terrestrial energy, the energy that surrounds us. These can be added to an Electroculture atmospheric antenna. They can be added to gardening beds, to one plant. I've used them in different ways. In a little while I'll add a quartz crystal to the middle. Those have been seen on other YouTube videos, online, maybe even on the TT app. I don't use that one. To start, again, we'll be using the simplest tools, some wire cutters, measuring tape, board with a hole with the screw. Same thing that I used to make the Ighina spiral. And I'll leave a link down below if you would like to know how to make the original Ighina spiral. And then in this video we're making this double spiral, Tesla coil, double Ighina, many things I've seen it called. But definitely today this is to enhance the energy in our gardens. For this project I'll be using 10 gauge copper. The original one that I made here is probably 14 gauge copper. I can make them out of galvanized steel. I do want to make some out of aluminum coming up soon. I do need to get some aluminum wire. And I'm looking to use maybe 12 to 14 gauge aluminum. Yeah, as seen in the original Ighina, or the original how to make an Ighina spiral video that I made. You basically have board, your wire sticking through the board, a screw that we're going to wrap around that screw. Yeah, the screw I use to wrap around the wire, and that'll be... You basically have a 45 once you start wrapping the wire around the screw. As I'm wrapping around the screw, I keep everything flat to keep the spiral the correct shape, and at the end it'll help when we space everything out. As you're making your coil around the screw, keeping it flat against the board, you may want to count how many coils you make, but from here we're going to flip it and then we'll make the double spiral. Yeah, I'm using one hand to kind of video this, and then also one hand to complete the task at hand, which is going to be this double spiral. Yeah, after taking out the screw, we're going to flip this coil. You'll have something looking like this. And once I have the first coils, I take it out, and I'm about to do the second set of coils. The wire's at a 45. Then I'm going to do another wrap. I may have to make some corrections, and I should have divided everything in 3 and then did 1/3, 2/3 to make it perfect. But if I have to make any corrections, it may not show in the final product. But this here, I made my bend from the 45 with the wire and the hole, and it's wrapped around the screw. I'm going to wrap around the screw, keeping it flat to continue on with start wrapping this next coil to meet up with the first coil we made. And this is how it looks on the other side at another angle. Have one wrap, one coil. I'll keep going, meet in the middle. I have everything where the two coils that I made are about to meet. And then on the other side, we're looking like this. I have the two coils met up. I'll take the screw out and then we'll shape the double coil, double spiral, Tesla coil. They've been called many things. Screw removed. And then what we'll do is join the two coils, shape everything. I have my trusty stick to pry these coils apart and shape everything. Y'all start in the middle of the double coil to start prying everything apart with this branch. I just keep winding around the coil, getting to the top. The top is always the hardest. And that's gonna be hardest to pry open, and from there you can straighten it out with your hands, maybe sometimes a wrench. With copper it's easy to soften and usually easy to work with. This 10 gauge may not be the easiest for me. I've been working with it for a while, and then 12, 14 may be more common. First coil completed, and now I'll start on the next, and I'll start in the middle with the second coil. Worked my way up to the second coil, winding around, prying everything, shaping it. Sometimes it's not perfect, but after a few tries, I know you can be a master and master this small technique of performing a double coil. Yeah, with the finished coil, you can add a crystal into the center, quartz crystal. I've done different things at the top, and then what I'm gonna do here is add a wooden bead. And yeah, with the wooden bead, I have a piece of copper wedged in there, and then I could wedge the spiral end here to fit it tightly. Yeah, wedged in the end with the copper gives it a decent fit. And then also you can use beeswax to give it something more permanent and add a harmonizing natural energy. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is add just a drop of beeswax at the top where the wooden bead is, and that'll help the harmonizing energy. Just adding a gob of beeswax at each end, and then I'm gonna wedge the spiral end, and then that should help keep it a lot tighter, give it a nicer fit, and add that harmonizing energy. Filled with beeswax and more firmly attached. Like if you push down, it's not really gonna move. So this is the 10 gauge one we created today. Here's one I created that's 14 gauge wire. It's always gonna be 12, 14 gauge, that's easy to work with. And then this one I could actually fit the quartz crystal in the middle. Just open up the crystal in the middle, or I mean the spiral in the middle to fit in the quartz. Depending on the size of your stone, you may have to kind of move the coils around it a little more. I want to thank you for joining me today. Stevo, Magneto, Electrico. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment. If you'd like, please drop a like on the video or sub. and please share. Yeah, I hope everyone's gardening is going great this year. Please share with me any positive experiences. If there's something else that you may want to share that wasn't so great, please share that also. Let's get a community going so we can figure out what works, what doesn't work, and let's help each other. Thank you guys. As always, please use the materials that you have at home or that you can acquire nearby. Aluminum, galvanized steel, copper, they all have different effects. Ferromagnetic, conductive electricity, or conductor of electricity. And then there's aeromagnetic, like aluminum. The clockwise spiral bringing in that sun and galactic energy. The anti-clockwise spiral bringing in the earth or terrestrial energy. Using both is beneficial.